Hey, what's up guys, Wintergore here, and that was the Rorsch X1 shooting one of the launch pods out of the sky. This is of course the final stand DLC for Battlefield 4. The Rorsch X1 is a railgun or experimental type weapon in the game, which is a special weapon pickup, which means you can find it located around on the maps. This weapon excels at taking out helicopters, light armoured vehicles and jets. I think its main use is primarily as a support weapon if you can pick it up, even though it's a heavily contested gun and people will be looking for you to pick it up from the spots. If you do manage to get it, you can get yourself off to a position like you can see here. I am shooting down the jets, shooting down helicopters from decently far away. The round from the railgun travels so fast that you really don't need to lead the shot. You can pretty much aim directly at anything that you want to shoot. I say that it's a primarily support based gun because it has a very slow fire time. A lot of people will use it on snipers and infantry, but I believe that the gun really excels in shooting down attack helicopters and jets. If you see someone in a dogfight, you can completely turn the whole fight for a teammate. They're getting chased by, say, 2 jets. If you shoot even just one of those jets, it gets disabled for so long that you can easily do a complete turn and kill them. I know supporting MASH when he's in the air, I managed to disable one of the jets, and he was able to just completely turn it on them and take them out. For you more experienced jet pilots out there, this means that you're going to have a lot harder time on the new Final Stand DLC maps because people will be picking up the railgun. They will be looking to take you out straight away. If you try and bear in mind the positions for the railguns and as you're flying over the map keep an eye out for the special weapon pickup, then you might be able to kind of be like, oh, the enemy team are quite close to it, I can go ahead and take them out. So this will keep you maybe alive for a little bit longer, or making sure that you let your team know that the railgun's up on the enemy team, so they can try and help you out by taking it out. One of the easiest ways to avoid the railgun, if you kind of know where the guy's shooting from, which is usually relatively close to where you can pick the weapon up, you kind of do tight turns and circles, constantly moving, and then fly really low behind cover, straight towards getting behind cover, because if you try and fly in a straight line away from them, or any kind of straight line in pretty much any angle, they're going to take you out very easily. The hardest shots for the railgun, those shots where it's very close up, because it does have a very long zoom. Some people have said, oh, you should have like a smaller zoom on the scope, but I believe that the weapon's so powerful that it shouldn't really have a smaller zoom, because that'll make it way too easy to aim. Like I said, it's just basically hold it for 3 seconds, and if it's something like a jet, you're gonna have no trouble at all aiming at it and shoot it out of the sky. One shot disable, which is usually leading to a free kill on your second shot. This does the same thing to transport helis. I believe that the transport helis should take 3 shots from the railgun, similar to them being kind of a more tanky thing. And obviously, if I shoot the pilot and I just shoot the cockpit of the transport helicopter twice, it insta-kills the whole helicopter and kills everybody in the back end of the helicopter, which is kind of a bit unfair really. And the first shot from the railgun usually instantly disables it and causes it to kind of get knocked out, and you don't really have enough time to respond. It's kind of a, you're going to bail out straight away, everyone's going to hate you for bailing out, but you know you're bailing out because the second follow-up shot will insta-kill the entire helicopter. The same can be said for the attack helicopters. They have made some tweaks to them which kind of improve their maneuverability. When we actually played the CTE event in LA, the helicopters were very sluggish. It felt like you were kind of trying to fly a brick. So it has improved a little bit. It's nowhere near as good as it is in Battlefield 2 in terms of barrel rolls, backflips, like everything. There's a lot more maneuverability, but it is a bit more advanced. So the attack helicopters do spawn on the map in Final Stand, but the railgun, the Rorsch, is able to shoot them down very quickly. One of the other things that I've noticed is when people are trying to pick up the railgun, a lot of people will cluster together, so that obviously being on the other team, if I know where the other railgun is, and I can just see it kind of like, oh, there's a lot of people waiting around there, straight off with a UCAV, slam it down at the railgun, get a couple of kills, pick up the railgun, and kind of wander out of there. The railgun does around 20 damage to LAVs, which is extremely useful. In the playtest at CTE, I managed to blow up one of the LAVs from the side of a helicopter. I was shooting like out to try and hit it, which was really cool. The first shot managed to disable it. It was in a fight with another tank though. That's obviously the reason why I was able to get a little bit of extra damage in to help it. You do have limited ammo with the Rorsch railgun, which obviously is fairly even, I guess, for the amount of damage that the gun does do. With the like 6 or 7 shots that you do get, you can pretty much take down like helicopters straight away. I believe if you actually manage to shoot the pilot through the head with the railgun, it'll act the same way as a sniper rifle and insta-kill them. So obviously that makes sense, I guess, that you'll have a very limited amount of ammo, considering there's you can basically take down everything in the air with the railgun from picking it up. It does respawn every 5 minutes currently, and I know at the moment it's kind of a little bit bugged and they're working on fixing it. You can if you pick up one railgun and then your teammate waits 5 minutes, they can pick up the railgun as well and you'll both have it, but obviously in that time you've most likely shot all 7 shots, so it doesn't really matter. This actually applies to the Raws in the same way, so you could kind of try and get a Raw squad together on one of the previous China Rising DLC maps. It would be quite funny to do. Yeah, so that's basically like an overview of the Rorsch X, the new railgun weapon. It is very, very easy to use, which you saw there at the beginning. I just kind of cut everything together because I kind of realised that if I pick it up and there's a jet in the sky, 9 out of 10 times I'll shoot them down unless they manage to get like directly above me, and then they're obviously a harder shot because the scope is zoomed in very far and I can only move it so much. Yeah, the hip firing on it isn't center screen, so you're kind of lucky if you do manage to hip fire, kill someone with it. I would say this though, people are very reluctant to drop the railgun. In a lot of situations you'll find like obviously people know that you're firing a railgun from somewhere. They'll manage to get to you and like I myself at first was very reluctant to drop it, but I guess if you're playing with your squad mates and you don't have anyone else that you're worried would instantly try and pick it up, it's always good to switch straight out to your primary, kill the guy who's right next to you, then switch back to the railgun, because the last thing you want to do is waste one railgun shot on just killing one guy, when you can obviously go for a full vehicle or take a jet out, or even the transport helicopter or any of the helicopters, which would really help your team out a lot more. It kind of shuts down all the maneuverability. So one of the things I'm looking forward to trying when the game fully releases is I'll be trying to shoot more of those launch pods out, which is of course on the Hangar 21 map. You can fire the launch pods from the F flag on Conquest. That's on Conquest Large. You can fire them across the map, get to any of the checkpoints, and also inside the hangar there's the Levolution event where you can turn on the thrusters and melt anybody that's on the underside, as well as using the launch pods just outside the front of the hangar doors to launch yourself around. The hangar doors can actually be opened and closed, which I found at first took me a while to figure out where they are. You actually have to go through quite a lengthy process of going all the way up to the top floor of the Titan, walking across to the side to open the hatch on the doors there. So I found that kind of shut down a lot of the movement there, and you could, since a lot of people don't really know where the opening is for the doors, it can take quite a while to get that sorted out. So I feel like they should have really added a button kind of at door level so you could instantly open it to get out. That kind of stuff would have been a lot easier for movement's sake, especially because it's very, very lengthy to sneak in through the side if the hangar doors are closed to get all the way up to the button to open it, so your team can have a better access into there. And it means that 2 of the flags can be held easily by the enemy team. Saying that, a lot of the matches that I did play on Hangar 21 ended up with our team capping the entire of the outside, using that F flag to get to all the different flags if we were obviously spawning on that side of the map, and the team that spawned closer to the mountain would always capture the inside of the mountain, the hangar where the Titan is, and they'd usually have that for the majority of the map. So it seemed like there was obviously like a lot of other players said, it's kind of like 2 maps in one. There's this inside part in the hangar, and there's also this outside part where everyone's fighting over all the base flags. It does seem like quite a lot more fun to fight inside the hangar, but I think like it would be cool to see those launch pods obviously moved over to other maps. But I guess what they're trying to do with this is kind of test the waters really for like a 2143 remake. It'll let them gauge kind of like the interest, if people are interested in like the futuristic style weapons. Would it be a good idea to make Battlefield 2143? So if you guys are loving the game, make sure to let DICE know, because obviously if you really want to see a 2143 remake, the best way to get that is to basically have a lot of hype surrounding the launch of this DLC. So if you're like, oh, great job on the DLC guys, the Rorsch X is sick, I love in the launch pods and stuff, man, we want to see like a 2143 remake, that kind of stuff, then it may put DICE in the perspective that it's a good investment. Obviously a lot of developers are doing futuristic games now, so it'll be interesting to see where DICE go with this, if they decide to make a 2143 remake, or if they decide to go and back and make like say a 1943 remake, which would be really cool to see on the other end of the spectrum, for them to go back and make a World War shooter when not as many developers are doing that right now. Everyone's focused on making futuristic style techie weapons. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this commentary. This has been a quick look at the Rorsch X sniper, like what I thought about it, and also the situations that I think it's good for use. If you guys enjoy this type of commentary, please leave a like and subscribe to me for more. This is kind of something that I really do on my channel. I want to know if you guys have enjoyed it. So thanks a lot for watching guys. Of course, I'm Wintergore, and I'll see you guys next time.